Hey, Hal Runkle here, author of Scream Free Parenting. This is your Ask Hal question. What do you mean I'm not responsible for my kids? That is one of the hallmark teachings of Scream Free Parenting. It's one of the very first things I ever wrote. And if you get nothing from Scream Free Parenting, I want you to get this. You are not responsible for your kids and the choices that they make. I know that sounds crazy. What do you mean? Who else would be responsible? I'm responsible for my kids. Think about it. A 1-year-old throws a toy. Who's responsible for whether or not the 1-year-old threw the toy? I didn't choose to throw the toy. The kid chose to throw the toy. Now, was this based on some amazing algorithm, choice tree, decision tree that decided to throw the toy? No. But I didn't choose to throw it. But that doesn't mean I don't have any responsibility in the situation. I have a ton of responsibility in the situation. I have a ton of responsibility in the situation. It's just not responsibility for her decision. See, my responsibility is to her. Because think about it. Who's responsible for whether or not the 1-year-old had the toy? Well, that's me. And my responsibility to my child, a 1-year-old, is to determine what toys they have and what toys they don't, and when they have them and when they don't. Those are my responsibilities to them. But after that, what they do is then up to them. Now you're thinking, well, they can't reason, right? I get it, but this is how they learn to reason, by offering choices and time limits and consequences. You throw the toy, you lose the toy for 1 minute. You set an egg timer for 1 minute. Take it away, throw it, give it back. Again and again and again. This is how they learn decision making. This is how they learn to understand time. And you can start as early as 18 months or whatever. It is based, though, on this recognition that if what I want most is for my kids to take full responsibility for all their decisions, then what I need to do right now is not take responsibility for them and those decisions. It's a fantastic book written a couple years ago called A Mother's Reckoning. It's a hard book to read, but it's written by the mother of Dylan Klebold, one of the Columbine High School murderers. And it's painful. But she recounts everything up to and after the horrific incident in 1998. And what's interesting is she's not in jail. She's not responsible. She didn't pull the trigger. She's not responsible for the decisions of her child. But did she fail in some of her responsibilities to her child? Absolutely. And she'd be the first to say it, and she is. She talks about the things that she missed. You can't allow your son to stockpile an arsenal under your own roof. That's failing in your responsibility to them. But that's not taking responsibility for them. This is so critical because it highlights the best way for us to judge whether or not we're doing a good job as a parent. Because we cannot judge ourselves completely on the behavior of our children. Because our children can grow up in the most amazing scream-free homes with the most amazing scream-free parent and still make terrible decisions because it's up to the child. Now, when we choose to absolutely focus to the hilt on our responsibilities to our kids, namely being the adult in the situation no matter what, letting them know with clarity what their choices are, enforcing the consequences with incredible consistency, when we start fulfilling all those responsibilities to them, does it increase the chances that they will take more responsibility for themselves? Absolutely. And they'll make better choices. I believe that with all my heart. But if I'm on the trail where I'm responsible for getting them to do the homework, I'm responsible for getting them up in the morning, I'm responsible for getting them dressed, I'm responsible for everything, then that doesn't end. And then I'm working harder on their basic skills than they are, and I'm resentful towards them and me and God and parenting itself. You nip that all in the bud, saying I'm not responsible for them and the choices that they make. I am responsible to them for the choices that I make. And that is the critical scream-free difference. Okay, this has been your Ask Hal question. I'm Hal Runkle. There's plenty more questions on the Pause platform, and you can always send in a question to askhal@screamfree.com.